The Boston Bruins have made a very sneaky trade ahead of free agency as things are heating up in the market and players may no longer be available. We're going to be breaking down this signing, going over why this is one of the best options the Bruins could have done, with multiple reports coming out that things are very much changing on the free agent market. We're going to be breaking it all down here in this video, as I mentioned. Before we do, though, ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot of stuff coming. Free agency started about a half hour ago at the time of recording this video. The trade happened earlier. So much stuff is going down. So if you're looking for your Bruins news, you're in the right spot. Hit the sub button right now. I'm going to promise you, I have so much content coming. We're going to have it every time throughout the day. Whenever news drops, we'll have it here right for you guys. And on that same note, I'm sure, as you know, we just passed 7K. We got the big goal of 10K, and you guys have been killing it as of late with the support, and I appreciate every one of you guys watching this videos right now. So if we could get this number up to 8K, that is one big step in our goal of 10K. But let's get straight into this. The Boston Bruins have officially announced the trade of Viktor Arvidsson. Official. Now, giving up a 5th-round pick is something that you really cannot complain about. Now, there is one possible option that I think a lot of people may not be a fan of. Is, in this case specifically, a $4 million cap hit. None was retained in this deal, so the Bruins are taking the full load of that $4 million. Now, going into this, it looks like a good trade. Obviously, you know, it's very hard to lose a trade when you're giving up a 5th-round pick for an NHL player who is exactly what the Bruins needed. We're going to kind of jump into that later here as well, and at the end go over why this trade was made, and I think why this was actually a very, very viable option, and one of the only ones for the Boston Bruins here. But as we go into it and take a look at everything that Viktor Arvidsson brings to the table and what he's going to be filling in and what role he's going to be filling for the Boston Bruins, courtesy of Bruins Cap Space, once again, thank you guys for posting these kind of little updates here. You're seeing Viktor Arvidsson slot in right now in the top 6. Now, I don't necessarily think he'll stay there. There could be a movement in and out, but it's a good sign that we have a guy that is able to play in the top 6, has been able to play in the top 6 in his career, and in a different scenario currently to where he was, of course, with the Edmonton Oilers, he was a player that was not taking the reins. You know, they had a very deep roster on the offense. He was not necessarily their primary option, tertiary option even. So going into a team with Boston who is in need of a player like Viktor Arvidsson, he's going to get a much bigger role, and I think the second line could be an actual option. And as I mentioned, we're going to jump into a few minutes here why this is actually a legit option coming in to this idea here. But we're going to take a look at Viktor Arvidsson. I know it's a bit small here. You see the last 2 seasons. One with LA, only played 18 games, I believe it was. Then this year with Edmonton, his first year with Edmonton, he was a player that got, you know, some stuff going. You know, he's a player that brings what he needs to, but really does not suit Edmonton's game. Their game is a lot about skill, while the Oilers, you know, got some of those skilled players, and they kind of take the reins of that. But the Bruins right now, they have some skilled players. They're looking mainly for a player that can really bring the heat to the table, and Viktor Arvidsson is that guy. Arvidsson will bring a hard-nosed game into wherever he goes, and as you see here with 67 games played, 27 points, but 14 minutes time on ice, those 14 minutes time on ice on that third line suited his game well. Pretty good on defense, a 60% Corsi, 32 years old, still has a lot of game left, and at 5'10", around 190, 200, he's a guy that will definitely bring exactly what the Bruins are looking for here, and this is more important than a lot of people are really kind of breaking down right now, kind of thinking about, and as we do jump into the J-Fresh chart as well, you see, you know, his game is not overly a full game anymore. You know, I feel like going in the power play, he's not going to be a power play guy. You take a look here, I'll jump in on this screen here. You go and take a look at his finishing, really not there, but the skating speed, the goals, the shots, he shoots from anywhere. And that's one thing the Bruins were looking for. That's one thing the Bruins wanted. It's one thing the Bruins needed, is someone who would really get the puck on net from anywhere. That was a major issue last year, even with some of these top goal scorers in the NHL, even with Morgan Geekie going out and getting 33 goals, they didn't have someone that, if they were breaking into the zone, they were getting pinched. Instead of turning it over, put the puck on net. You got an option there to get a face-off, a rebound, or you're going to go, if the puck's going to go in. You know, there's a few options there that really will give the Bruins the opportunities that they needed to have last year. So Viktor Arvidsson is a very good signing on that front. And you see, really, the offense there on the top, even though it's only 53%, everything else that brings his offense into it, rush shots, zone entries, shots themselves, goals, rush shot assists, you know, all of these high-danger, offensive-driven stats are exactly what the Bruins are looking for and where they need it to. Now, he's not a guy that's going to be a playmaker. He's not going to be great on, like, you know, a very reliable defender. He's good, but he's not going to be the guy that you're looking for to go out here and block that many shots. But he's a guy that fits the exact need the Bruins had to bring him into this lineup. Now, as we go into it, this puts the Bruins in a bit of an interesting situation here, where they currently have $8.7 million. And we're going to jump into some reports now in a few minutes here that kind of shut down one of the big possibilities the Bruins had. And as things kind of went on over free agency in the past few days, they got a big change there, but $8.7 million is still enough for the Bruins to go out here and fill in this top six. As we mentioned, Viktor Arvidsson, not necessarily a top six guy at this moment. Of course, if he goes back to his ways that he did in LA, certainly could be. But it's just the uncertainty right now. You don't know what's going to happen after that year with Edmonton. Did his game change? I don't think it did. But you want that certified top six guy that's, filled that role before. And coming into this, the Bruins had a few people in mind, Brock Boeser being one. We're going to touch on him in a moment as things drastically changed on that front. But the way that the Bruins have made this play out, made it, kind of work into their own, I think it's going to be a very, very interesting decisions that they're going to have coming here with Viktor Arvidsson filling a much-needed hole. Now, as we do jump into it, I'll pull it up. Rick Dollywall put this out. Hearing Brock Boeser in Vancouver will get it done. This came out a few minutes ago, about 10, 15 minutes ago from this exact time in the video. However, that is actually done now. That is officially done, which counts Brock Boeser out, who was an option for the Bruins and would have fit into this $8.7 million threshold. That's one name that is gone now officially from the list, and the Bruins need to get that top six guy. Whether it is going to be from this draft that they had, whether bringing someone in from that, let's hope they kind of take their time with those players. We know it's going to be important, but as we do jump into the free agents as well, this once again, courtesy of Bruins Cap Space on Twitter. Go follow. It's a great follow on Twitter. You get your all these updates like this. On the right side specifically, we can kind of take a look at things. Joel Armia is gone. He's already been signed. Brock Boeser back to gone back to the Vancouver Canucks. You have some names here. Kyler Yamamoto, an interesting one, did not get a qualifying offer, meaning he is a free agent currently. Connor Brown, one that I think the Oilers will try and bring back, but he is another very interesting option. You have the left side as well. Andrew Mangiapane has been one that has been linked to the Bruins. There's a few other ones, Mikey Asamont, not a top six talent there, but certainly could bring that to his game. And you have the big one, Nikolai Ehlers, Mikael Granlund. Those two, I'd say they're out of the realm of possibility. A bit more than $8.7 million would be coming to them, guys. But Jonathan Drouin could be another option as well. There's a few names here that really put some interest into the Boston Bruins and make it so that they can actually finally go out and build another top six that could at least get to the playoffs, and we certainly missed that last year. But there are some names, there's some moves happening, of course, the Boston Bruins and the rest of the NHL are going to be fighting for a lot of these players. So let me know what you think about, first of all, the Viktor Arvidsson trade. I think it's a perfect one for the Boston Bruins right now. Obviously, would like for that cap hit to come down just a little bit, but the Oilers are trying to clear space. The Bruins certainly wanted him, because if they wanted him bad enough, they would have taken on the full cap, which they did. If they didn't, they would have tried to go for 50% retention, which obviously doesn't matter. But it is 1 year. It's a good test, and I think it's a risk-free test that the Bruins certainly are going to work with and go from here. So let me know what you think in the comments below about all of this news that we have here today. We're going to have multiple videos coming out here later today, of course, as things happen. And my phone's been going crazy throughout this video, so I'm sure we're going to have something very, very soon. But that's all I got in this video. If you did enjoy, give it a like, hit the sub button. Remember, the road to 8K, then the big goal of 10K. I know you guys can do it. Your guys' sportsman insane, but I appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.